As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was only sent to perfect for you the highest of moral character traits. So each and every one of the pillars of Islam and Iman, especially the Day of Judgment, these principles are moral principles. We understand the details, but we should live the moral principles which come from them. A person who believes in the Day of Judgment, we have so many examples where the Prophet ﷺ would say, whoever believes in Allah on the Day of Judgment will be kind to his guests. Whoever believes in Allah on the Day of Judgment will either speak good or be silent. And so on and so forth. Talking about character, about how a person lives his or her life. Relating it back to belief in Allah on the Day of Judgment. Because ultimately, if we do believe that we are accountable, we will meet our deeds, then our lives will truly be righteous lives. And that's the essence of what the Day of Judgment and belief in it calls us to. I will leave the floor to you to raise whatever questions that you had and try to answer them from this point. Thank you. Regular questions, if there's time at the end, we'll address them, inshallah. First question, as I know every baby born in a Muslim family what's this now? My question is, let's say, if a person, non-Muslim, grows up in a place that there is not even Islam or information, he or she died without receiving Islam. Actually, this was already explained in the lecture, what happens to them. If a Muslim does not pray the 5 times prayer, what is the punishment? Well, we know that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said the first question that the Muslims will be asked about on the Day of Judgment will be the salah, about their prayers. And if they do not have an answer for their prayers, in other words, they had abandoned their prayers, then questions will not continue. It will not be like examinations here in the university, where if you get 50% in maths and you get 90% in biology, they take the average. No. If you have failed in the area of salah, you have failed. What sins will God not forgive? Well, the major sin which God will not forgive, if a person dies in a state of worshipping other than Allah, other than God, that is the one sin which is unforgivable. Any other sin which a person dies without having repented from it, then it is up to Allah. He may forgive them, overlook it based on other good deeds that they have done, or they may be punished for a period of time in hell. This is part of the details of the intercession. I didn't really go into it for the sake of allowing enough time for you all to ask your questions. But among the forms of intercession which will take place is that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and others will be allowed to take certain people out of hell who are believers, who are being punished in hell, but Allah has decided that their punishment, they have received sufficient punishment, and then the Prophet and others will act as intercessors to take them out. And that is an honor which is given them, and not a private right which they have, wherein they can step in where God has already made a decision and counteract his decision. Question, is backbiting one of those unforgivable sins? Well, no, but it is very serious, as the Prophet ﷺ had said, that one who backbites, would not enter paradise. However, this is not entering paradise, not ever, but they would not enter paradise initially. If we could clear before our death, will we be punished for the backbiting? Yes. You will not be punished if you clear yourselves, if you have backbitten anybody or harmed anybody, lied or cheated. If you try to clear it whilst you're still living, then the sin of it will be removed from you if you do it sincerely. How long will the day of judgment last? It's called the day of judgment. It will be one day. But that day will be as long as Allah wishes it to be. And it was mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, that the person or one of the people who would be punished on that day, the person who didn't give zakah, that they would be continually branded with flame from the fire for a day, or the day, and that time is described as being like 50,000 years. And that would continue until the judgment of the rest of the creatures was complete.